welcome back, everybody, to part two.
Welcome to part two, my loves. Okay, I hope you all had your water, had some time to calm down, because we got to talk about this guy.
Oh yeah, our favorite billionaire, Crystal. We love him.
Maybe your favorite. I am annoyed. Why? Of all things, South Africa could deport. It's here. And no, I know there's songs saying send Elon back to Africa. Africa has made it clear they do not want him. I asked my cousins, hey, do you mind if we ship him over there? They're like, no. They didn't want it to begin with.
But look, Crystal, if we need to get rid of him, we might have to ship him back. I mean, your cousins might just have to put up with it.
Now, let's ship it to Canada. Technically, Elon's grandfather is Canadian. Okay. He went to South Africa because he approved of apartheid. So
you just made all our Canadian friends mad at us. You know that, right?
They're not mad. Last time I suggested to them they take him, they said cool as long as they could put him in a zoo.
I'm pretty sure both of them said no.
Really, no. After we were done talking about building a book talk town, they literally said they would take him because I said what you need to do is build a zoo and make him your star attraction, and they were like, yeah.
So you're trying to bribe the Canadians to take him.
Hey, they started this mess.
I don't know that Canada started this. Like,
Elon's family is originally from Canada and went to South Africa. They started it.
Well, okay. I'm sorry. I love you, Canadians. Don't come at us. We love Canada. We have lots of Canadian friends. Anyways. All right, so let's talk about Elon Musk, also known as the second president currently, because, he's sure as F acting like it. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't even know, because he's a special advisor, if I remember correctly. He's a special advisor. He has a department, which is DOGE, which is the Department of Government Efficiency, Crystal. And do we know, take a guess at what they're supposed to be doing?
All I know is they're doing it very efficiently because they said they're supposed to be removing government waste, and all they have done is cost us more money.
I know, and mess with our money, yeah. So they are supposed to be looking into government spending and targeting areas where maybe money is being inefficient, which, hey, you know what? I'll even give it that in theory, as a vague idea with Elon Musk and nowhere the fuck near this idea, this is not a bad idea. The idea of cracking down on wasteful spending, which, by the way, I believe there was already a department that was doing that, but okay, we made a new one. There was.
It was too efficient to go.
I understand. Like, in theory, the concept of, all this spending and we need to look at it. We need to track it down and And I'm like, okay, all right. I can even agree with this. I can even understand that, like, if you think that the government has a lot of wasteful spending, I could understand. I could even understand that you want to crack down on it. And I think that's what I'll even give a benefit of the doubt to the Republicans and conservatives who heard about this at first and thought that they were that it was really going to crack down on the spending that's just ridiculous, right? Billions of dollars not going to infrastructure, billions of dollars not going to the people. And I can even understand that in theory, this was a good thing. But in practice, it has been what is known as a clusterfuck.
Well, our first sign was when this, 15-something-year-old man felt the need to have this crack team of 19 and 20-year-olds, especially leading the charge to cut back government waste, especially the one that calls himself Big Balls.
Yeah. So basically, they have been going after stuff. Like Elon has made this department. He had a bunch of fun fact. He wouldn't identify who worked for him. That was kind of a thing where people, like Congress, was actually asking, like, who is working for you? Who is trying to do all this shit? He wouldn't identify them first, right?
Yeah, okay. That's the first problem. They were looking at sensitive material.
Yeah. So then there's so many issues that have popped up with them, headed by Elon Musk. And where do we start? But I think the biggest thing that kind of shocked people, I don't know what.
Day.
Yeah. The biggest thing that shocked people was done, I believe it was at a Wisconsin rally. We'll get into that subject too, where he did a schmachi salute. And lots of people wanted to be like,
We
oh
need to go to
no.
the first Smotsy salute that happened on Inauguration Day.
Oh, did he? I don't, did he do
He
one
did.
on
It's
an,
where it started.
hold on. Okay. So we had to double check some stuff. So we double checked. So these salutes happened at a rally that was happened in January after the thief in charge was elected, and they were having this rally to celebrate. And Elon Musk decided that he was going to do a heartfelt salute.
Yeah.
And let's call bullshit. Shall we call bullshit right now?
Let's call bullshit because that is not heartfelt. Okay, people died because of that salute. Don't give me this. Oh, it was for heartfelt. People are locked in camps with gas because of that salute.
Right. So
It really
it
makes me
literally,
mad.
that's how we got introduced to our second president, Elon Musk. Sorry, the head of government efficiency.
Yes, the head of government officially, President Elon.
Yes. And so in this, he does this salute, and he doesn't do it just once. He does it twice. So a lot of people were like, oh, maybe it was an accident. Maybe he was just, because it's supposedly, according to his PR team, he was trying to do a heartfelt, sincere, like his hand over his heart, and then it just accidentally extended up 1 inch. No, the man did a smocky salute twice in a row. And he even said something to the effect of, oh, I probably shouldn't be doing this, but then fucking did it anyway. So clearly he knew what he was doing. Right.
And you know the next thing that pissed me off even about that?
Yes.
As soon as people were criticizing him really heavy on it, they're like, oh, well, he has Asperger's. And I was just F
and
y'all.
that was upsetting because
don't.
I swear, I swear every time Elon does something, his PR team likes to put it out. Well, he has Asperger's. Okay, my child has autism. Does that excuse her from a Nazi salute? No, it does not. Sorry, just doesn't. If my daughter did a schmachi salute, well, I would whoop her ass. But also, you need to be checked because you cannot. This is not something you just play with. Again, and as we were speaking of the immigration before, this was a time where there were tons of there was tons of death, and there was a whole group of people who were being genocided on. Okay, and him doing this heartfelt moment and then trying to blame his Asperger. No, just because you have a neurodevelopment issue doesn't excuse you being an idiot. Yeah, no, sorry.
Having a neurodevelopment, really having any form of disability does not make you stupid. And that was just stupid and wrong. I mean, this happened. It was not, I know we talk about a lot, even with the whole incident with all of that stuff that happened during the Second World and everything. Yeah. But you think about it, it was several groups. I know that people concentrate on the Jews, but we got to think about Jewish people, Gypsies, and several other groups who were horribly brutalized by these men. And they were doing that salute as part of their, cheer and everything to say, oh, look at us, we're doing such a good thing. And then Elon has the audacity to do that. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, oh, proud of it. Try to say, no, it was a sign of love from media. No, it was a sign of hatred. It was a sign of white supremacy. Ugh. That is just not okay. And don't go putting up your little supremacy sign and think you can just backtrack it easily.
Right? No. So that was the first thing he did. And I feel like that really set the tone for all the shit he pulled because he has done some doozies. I think the major one that starts it is that he wanted access to the Treasury Department, right? And I think everybody heard about this. He wanted access to the Treasury Department, and they were not giving it to him because acting deputy Treasury Secretary David LeBrecq, who was a longtime non-political official, refused to hand over access to the tightly controlled sensitive payment system of Social Security and Medicare and benefits, tax tax refunds and federal salaries. So he did not want to hand this over. And the White House was trying to tell him, you have to hand it over. And he's like, I'm not going to do this because he should not have access to the Treasury Department's whole system, right? Because the Treasury Department pays out
non-American.
Right.
Yeah, he should definitely look at all our money.
He pays out more than $6 trillion a year in Social Security and Medicare benefits. So this is a system that is run very well. And there are a few like date issues with it, which have been brought up ad nauseum of, oh, well, you have to do it because of this. No, those are just, it's literally a system. It works. It has a few date issues, but that's, it's kind of a defunct problem. Fact that they like to bring up. That's just bullshit. It doesn't mean anything. So anyways, because the deputy treasury secretary would not give him access, he was fired, and then access was just handed over to Elon. To a person, by the way, and I will not state this enough this episode, somebody who was not elected by the people. Yeah, he was brought in by Donald Trump.
I remember seeing him.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. He was not on the ballot. I mean, he gave how much money? He gave $280 million to Donald Trump for his election. So he definitely paid for it, but he was not elected. Now, I don't remember seeing his name on the ballot. And so that was just the first. That was just the first of many where he literally took over the department. And there's been major cuts to foreign aid, the education department. There's been an overhaul of the U.S. Treasury. And the DOJ staffer, who's unnamed, by the way, was put in charge of their system, which, by the way, let me state this. And this was actually brought up by Tim Walz, who was the former vice president candidate under Kamala Harris. And oh my God, I wish we had voted her in. Anyways.
Well, we gotta live with the Twilight Zone for a hot minute.
Consequences of other people's actions, Crystal. We have to deal with it. It's ridiculous. Yeah, anyways, right? Okay, so Tim Walz, who was the former vice president nominee, who is, I believe he's a governor. He's such a sweetheart. The man is fucking adorable. If there's a word adorable in a dictionary, he's next to it. So he actually spoke about this, and I really appreciated his take because he literally was like, my mother is on Social Security, and this fuckery going on with those 19-year-olds being put in charge of this system that they were not voted in to do, by the way, that they literally, his mother, her Social Security payment was late. And they were talking about, because they've done so many things with this, it's ridiculous, because they messed around in the system. So they had late Social Security payments. They had Medicare payments that were being, because they messed around with the Medicare system, which if you are not in healthcare, you don't understand that Medicare system is it's a very hard thing to deal with if you are in healthcare as a person working in it. I'm actually a medical billing and coding person. And it is not an easy system to try to code stuff and get it right? And so they messed with it. So it was actually like messing up all the minor systems that are attached to it when people look up stuff. So there was actually like Medicare delays, there was Social Security delays, and it was like, this man should not have even been put in charge of it. He's not, okay. And
he's not an elected official or anything, anybody who was elected to deal with those systems. He didn't even pass a freaking interview. He just paid some old fool.
And it was just ridiculous to me. It's like, okay, so he's a billionaire and this is what gives him permission to meddle in our huge No, just because somebody has a lot of money that, by the way, let's put this on point. He inherited a good portion of it from his parents. His mom was a model. His dad was a very powerful, I don't know, not financer. He was a very powerful business person in South Africa. And there was a lot of stuff. We won't get into that stuff right now, but there's there's stories of what his dad was involved in that also add to how he's probably a racist too. And so you have the fact
probably that's Nazi salute.
Yeah, they're right. He is just a racist.
Marriage is only the beginning. Wedding Blitz available now.
So it's a whole thing of, or maybe we should say allegedly, just so we can't get sued.
No, we might as well call a spade a spade. We're not going
Right.
to get sued in this case. I mean, there's too much evidence.
That's true. That you are
Yeah, don't
right.
be nervous. We might as well tell the truth.
Right. And so he literally, like, he inherited a lot of money. And yes, he has done, like, putting aside all this crap, he is okay with technological stuff. He has invented some things. I'm not going to take away his Tesla credit, even though that Cybertruck is a piece of shit and
Oh,
ugly as
there's
crap.
a lot we can say of the Tesla's thing, but we can say that for another episode too.
And also a brief aside, please don't harass people who have Cybertrucks, because probably half of them bought them from before. So let's not harass the poor people who just bought a car. Like,
and combined with, why are you harassing them? Listen,
I know.
You know what Mia, my family came into town recently. You know what we taught the kids to do?
What?
Point at Cybertrucks and to acknowledge that they are rolling trash cans. Because in all truth, if you have a Cybertruck, that is punishment enough. You are riding around in an ugly dystopian car that is indistinguishable from a garbage can. So you don't need to vandalize it, people. It's already vandalized by existing. And the darn thing is falling apart because it was put together sloppily. You don't need to vandalize. It's already suffering.
Okay, let's save the Tesla for down the road.
No, I'm just bringing that up because, we gotta bring in, don't vandalize. It's already going down.
Let the poor people have their cars. But so anyway, so back to this criminal we're talking about. So he is also, and this is a fun side fact I found when I was researching Crystal. They are also, Doge is allegedly, and I'm going to state allegedly, because we don't know this for sure. He is allegedly using artificial intelligence to surveil at least one federal agency's communications for hostility towards Donald Trump.
Oh, sweet Jesus. We are in the deep state now.
So secret police. This is the secret police, right? So he's participating. So him and the ICE. Yeah, we have the secret police. The secret, all the generals who helped Taylor. Yeah, this is one of Trump's generals. So anyways, it's disgusting. Like, the disgust I have for these people. Crystal, guess what though? We're gonna this is actually a bad and good point, because something good came out of this, but it was really fucking bad there for a minute. So Crystal, do you want to talk about the Doge court race? Doge endorsed, I should say.
Oh, you mean that money Elon promised to a lucky voter who
two voters.
Two lucky voters. You're right. Two lucky voters who voted for that. What was it in Wisconsin?
Brad Schimmel.
Yeah,
It was in Wisconsin. Yeah. Brad Schimmel versus Susan Crawford for a judgeship.
Which, $5,000. And the winners of those supposed money were some people who were high on the hog. So get the feeling it was never going to go to an ordinary person.
Oh, right. No. What was funny is, so Elon Musk dives into this judge court race, and he basically said that he thought that this race was like, that races like this would determine the future of America and would show, how terrible America was going to get. So if we didn't vote Brad Schimmel in, that liberal Susan Crawford would get in that judgeship, because a lot of these judges, especially in some of these more rural areas where they're voting, these judges are going to help decide on some of the how should I put it? The lines that they draw for election vote, right? That's what he was talking about, because some of these judges make those decisions about, like, was it Alabama or Georgia, Crystal, where they had to redraw their whole fucking map because it was so unbelievably geared to making sure that conservative voters.
I need to look into it. I think it was Alabama.
Yeah, so it was either Alabama or Georgia where they had to redraw. I think it was Alabama, you're right, where they had to redraw the whole map because it was so unbelievably racist. It was ridiculous. And they were literally making sure that only white areas had votes and power. So it was like, it was fucking ridiculous how they drew it. So judges like this are actually important because they will help decide the gerrymandering, that's what it's called, the gerrymandering votes. And so basically, Doge basically they say specifically, Doge handed out the check. The head of Doge handed out the check to people who pledged.
Talk about who is the head of Doge after we get through this part.
Elon Musk. Yeah.
No, there's a reason why I was bringing that up, but let's
Okay, we'll get to that. Yeah, so candidate Brad Schimmel. And so Elon Musk went in there, waved some flags, did a creepy ass dance, and basically was paying people, which I'm pretty sure is illegal. Am I wrong? I thought it was
is.
illegal. I'm pretty sure. I can't be.
It's not legal to. You can't bet. I think you're not allowed to bet on an election, and you can't pay somebody to vote for someone.
Right? Because, like, if we're getting paid for our votes, can I get paid for? I mean, let's pay everybody if we're going to pay people. So, anyways, so he tried to get involved, and basically, and Wisconsin. By the way, I'm very proud of Wisconsin for this because here's the good thing that came out. Wisconsin basically they said they have not seen numbers like this since the presidential election, really, and since the last few presidential elections, people came out in droves because Wisconsin was so upset that he would try to come and meddle in just a judge race that he is no. I mean, you're the head of Doge, right? You're some special advisor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you doing trying to hand out money to voters? Like, it's ridiculous, right? And so Wisconsin was like, nah, we're good. And so they voted Susan Crawford in.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was a Supreme Court election. That's what it was. I was like, I knew it was an election. The Supreme Court of Wisconsin. And so she got voted in. So thankfully, the bribery, the outright bribery and bullshit didn't win. But it's stuff like that. Like, this is the person who you're saying is so honorable and is such a good ethical business person who will help run our finances. The guy trying to bribe people to vote. Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah.
The guy who does bribery and illegal stuff, yeah, that's the person you should trust.
Yep. And so it's ridiculous of and then you think that he's done so much more. I mean, here's the thing that one of the things that upset me that I've caught a few of it, but I haven't seen all of it. So obviously we all know that he runs Twitter. I'm not going to call it X because fuck you, it's Twitter.
X is a stupid name. I will die on that hill. It is a stupid name.
It is a very. We will both die on this hill. So, anyways, he runs it, right, and he uses it as his political mouthpiece now because he's so important. He thinks he's Donald Trump. He believes he's the second president, so he thinks he can spout off about shit.
Coming of Jesus,
right? So, anyways, he's been on Twitter, baby. He's been on Twitter talking a lot of shit. He has. So when he took over Twitter, by the way, he took over Twitter and within 24 hours, anti-Semitic, and racist tweets spiked over 1,200 to spread. And by the way, none of these were checked. Also, hateful rhetoric towards Black people increased. 500% increase of the N-word on X, half a day after Musk purchase.
Yeah, that's not surprising. He removed all the stuff Twitter had that was keeping these people who wanted to spread the hate in check. And he made it just basically to the point where Twitter was such a toxic place. A lot of the creative people and everybody who made Twitter fun to be on, the bulk of them just were like, screw this noise, I'm gone.
Oh, and then because that isn't enough to be racist and anti-Semitic and all this other shit that he's encouraged on Twitter, he then also has gone on to target trans people because that seems to be the minority group that everybody wants to kick around, which I don't fuck with at all.
Like they talk about trans people like cis is some sudden discovery. I'm thinking, people, they're not doing anything to you, and what they do does not affect your life or have an impact on your life in any way. So why don't you just, fuck off and leave them alone? They're not doing nothing.
Right. And when we talk about this, don't think in the book episode I won't be raking J.K. Rowling over the code, the coals for this shit.
She will have her
dude.
time.
Oh, J.K. Rowling, me and her are going to square off. So anyways, Elon Musk, though, and I mean, she's one of the people on Twitter saying all this
we'll get into how she can't really write anything outside of Harry Potter another day.
Yeah. So he literally wants to make jokes about it. My pronouns are prosecute Fauci because poor Fauci hasn't dealt with enough crap from trying to save us from COVID. You got to harass the guy even now.
Yeah.
And then also, so then the second part of this is that because he's been putting all this crap on Twitter. So here's a fun fact, because he's not just keeping his shit to our government and in the US. No. Crystal, he's expanding.
Well,
he is. He's looking at Europe. And it has been noted that he's weighing in debates over immigration in the UK and France, calling King Charles III to dissolve Parliament. He supported a far right party in Germany because, smotchy sympathies.
Which praise heaven that failed spectacularly.
Right. Thank goodness. Thank goodness for Germany. Germany,
Not
we
one to
see
do
you. We
just
love
that
you.
twice.
We appreciate you. We appreciate the fact that you are trying to fight the good fight against what happened. And this is why I want to say it, just a brief note of Germany went through horrible things. And I think it is a very proud thing of them. And they can stand proud because they have been trying for years to overcome and get better from their history. Whereas our country has decided, fuck that history bullshit. Let's not even try to change and be better. Yeah. Exactly. So he did that. What else did he do? I mean, he has been interfering in so much stuff in Europe that they're basically
investigating him.
Oh yeah. Oh no, Europe, supposedly they have several cases because he's been doing his shit on Twitter so much that they are looking at possibly, I don't know this is for sure. This is what's been hinted at. They are looking at charging him with something. They are definitely actively shutting down contracts with Tesla, which I kind of feel bad for Tesla shareholders because man, they are getting fucked left, right, and sideways.
They should have voted him off the board a long time ago.
Well, so here's the thing. I don't know that they could have because I want to say when I heard about this before, he has a 51% control, which means that they can't get rid of him because they only have 49%. So that's why they were writing letters to him to get him off the board. That's why they were basically begging him. And now they're taking him to court over it, I believe, because they're basically saying that he's tanking the company, which he has.
I don't think Tesla's going to recover from this, especially since I believe it's a Chinese electric car company has replaced Tesla in the spotlight because of his nonsense.
Yeah, no. So again, all the money that could be coming to America, nope, it's gone.
And I'll be honest, Elon is really stupid because obviously the people who would buy his cars are rich Democrats, not conservatives. But because he chose, because Elon had a nice Thomas Edison thing going for him. Now, I know many of y'all know Thomas Edison as the guy who invented the light bulb. He did not invent the light bulb.
Wrong
he
answer.
paid people to
He didn't even pay people. He outright stole ideas from a lot of inventors.
Oh yeah, he basically stole them because they were making a big deal about the black man, I can't remember his name, who invented the filament cord for the light bulb to make it work. But basically, he made it look like all the smart stuff his employees were doing was his big man brain idea. And, people always say, oh, Thomas Edison, he invented so much. No, he didn't. He had other people invent stuff and basically take credit for it. Elon had that status of, he didn't invent Tesla, but people were treating him like he did. And he would have been able to keep that shining star and make a lot of money. But instead, he decided to basically screw over the base of people who would give him money for the Tesla cars.
Yeah. So then, and that's not even the only thing. I think one of the more famous things that Elon has done that's just has wrecked a lot of federal agencies, and some of it's on the fucking side of ridiculousness, is he had an email go out from the Office of Personnel Management, and it is said that he is the one behind this. And it was, "What did you do last week?" was the subject line, and it was sent to numerous agencies: the Justice Department, FBI, State Department, Pentagon, Department of Energy, Department of Homeland Security, Office of the Director of National Intelligence, so CIA, the CIA. And they sent it to all agency officers. And they sent them this email that said, "What did you do last week?" And basically the email demanded that they summarize and say 5 or 6 things or something about what they had done. Half these agencies run on fucking they don't reveal stuff. And the thing is, he sent this email in a I believe it was a non-secure one. So there were names on this email. It was there were names on this email that could have revealed people. I mean, it's just wow. And so, anyways,
people in danger, and people are being warned not to respond to that email.
So then we had some of the federal workers were told to not. They had to reply by each week. Oh, they had to do this on a weekly basis or something.
Yeah.
And so HR agency was like, "Oh well, the compliance is optional." But then the Defense Department was like, they told him first to disregard, but then, Pete Hegseth stepped in. So then they mandated their people to respond. But this is like top secret information in some of this. You're going to have somebody send top secret information over possibly insecure networks? Like, didn't these people go after Hillary Clinton for fucking 15 years or something about emails? And this
Yeah, to the
motherfucker
point of
is sending out
nauseam.
and this motherfucker is sending out emails in fucking the most insecure way to be like, give me your top secret information that I can spread. Like, what in the actual fuck? Ugh.
I don't know anymore with these people.
I don't even know. And so HHS was like, oh, employees have to respond, of course, because who's in charge of that, RFK? You have the Homeland Security Department, which first instructed to not reply, then took the unique approach to tell employees to send their responses to a department email address so stuff wouldn't get out, of course. And it's ridiculous. Oh, and then they fired. Like, how many firings happened? They fired a shit ton of people.
Happening. So then we don't have, like when they fire the people in charge of the bombs.
A nuclear, yeah. So they fired the people in charge. And this was like a blip on the radar, which is just, you fire the nuclear scientists who are in charge of our program, like keeping the nuclear stuff, like, I believe it was cooled down. They were in charge of the cooling system.
I think it was cooling down the assembly.
Yeah, so it was the cooling down stuff because nuclear stuff is very heated. You have to have a special system to cool it down. They fired every single scientist and then realized it took them, I believe, 2 days, Crystal, to realize that they had fired every single person who knew what to do. And then by the way,
how nuclear bombs work. Those things go boom.
They literally had to 2 days later. They were trying to call him back in and be like, "Oh no, we didn't fire you. No, that was a mistake.
Yeah,
that
but they
was
didn't know
not
how to call all of them,
right?" And so it was like so many people. We know an author who got fired from her job. Like, there's so many people who got let go who are a necessity in their department because Elon Musk
avian flu fired all the people working on that.
But no, because Elon Musk. Oh, right, the tracking of diseases fired all those people too. They say these people aren't essential, and then half these people they're trying to desperately get back. Oh, and then they they fired the probational employees because people have security checks and stuff, so they have to like go through a system, and they wanted to fire all those people too. Yeah.
They want to fire everybody. They say the Department of Efficiency. This is very inefficient.
Right. It's just, if it isn't one thing, it's another. And it's funny because recently, Elon Musk has been a little bit quiet because supposedly Donald Trump is unhappy with how much exposure.
Since the Wisconsin thing, so it's not surprising.
Yeah, because look at the fact, like, they were begging, and then that was another thing. Elon Musk and Trump used the White House to promote his cars. Like, there literally is a law that says you cannot use the office of presidency to endorse and make money, and that's literally what they're doing.
Like it's QVC since he got back in office.
Oh, I know. We'll talk about Donald Trump selling his meme coin and then giving people appointments with him for buying large quantities. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
that'll come up.
Talk about cryptocurrency.
Right. So it's just there's so many things. You have a billionaire who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing in our government, running around like a kid with a fucking toy breaking shit. They're firing people left and right they know nothing about. Those poor workers literally just get emails saying, "Oh, you're fired, bye." And these are people who have been in their job for 30, 40, 50 years. These are essential personnel.
Workers too.
Right? And then you let him fuck around in our social security. Let's talk about social security and what social security is, right? Because I think that's a question of, especially when he wants to, because he's putting out a lot of like conspiracy theories about there's so many scams, there's so many frauds. So basically, Social Security is a federal program that provides financial assistance to individuals, especially those who are retired, disabled, or survivors of a deceased worker. And it is funded through payroll. We are the ones who pay for it. The American people are the ones who put money into this. And this motherfucker wants to act like this money is his, and he don't want to give it to the disabled, the elderly, people who are having serious issues. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, like, what was that newscaster, whoever said if his mom doesn't get her Social Security check for 1 month, she's fine.
Right? Oh, and then they want to act like it's no. I'm sorry. This is something we pay into. I who have worked, I put money into it. You put money into it, and I mean, I think that because I'm a millennial, I think we understood we weren't going to get a lot of it back because yes, it's a system, but there's enough of the rich people getting away with not putting money into the system that there's no way for it to survive into when I become elderly, right? But it's a system that is, and plus there's a lot of fucking boomers. No offense, boomers. I'm saying this as in literally, it's been noted that you're one of the largest generations, and so there's a lot of money going to you, right? Right. So this is money we put in, though. This is money we put in from our money, from our work. And this person wants to just come in and be like, well, my money now, and I think I should be able to decide who gets it.
I think he should not decide who gets it. I mean, you have elderly people who working for years, retiring, who need that check. You have people who are disabled who need that check. That was the whole point of the damn check. It's not like they're getting millions of dollars a month. It's just a little bit of money help people get through.
Yeah. And it was passed by Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1937, and it has been helping a lot of people. And it's just, you're giving this man, and by the way, again, nobody elected this man. And okay, yeah, Trump is the one who gets to pick people. You are right. You are right.
But
He
when
gets
you
to pick whoever the fuck he wants to.
it still has to go through the Congress.
But this is not, it's not like Musk has a degree in finance. It's not like Musk has a degree in fucking half this shit. He literally just has a few patents he's made money off in a company, and then money he inherited. So this is not a guy who went to school for years to know what the fuck he's doing. And this is the person, not to mention, besides all the racist and everything else that he is, like, it's ridiculous. Like, this is the man. This is the man you want to trust stuff to. But supposedly Trump is getting tired of him.
Yeah.
So, and
I believe Elon even started saying that he's going to retire from the Department of Efficiency to focus on his business.
Crystal, you brought up a good point about the fact that, like, he's talking about retiring. Well, fun fact is that he was brought in as an SGE, which is a special government employee. And so this was created in 1962. They're allowed to come in for a short period of time, 130 days, by the way, and they are allowed to work in their expertise on a temporary basis, which none of this shit is his expertise. So that's already fucking illegal.
Yeah, and he's not an expert at any of this, so
they can only work for 130 days in a 365-day period. And let's not even talk about that Congress has a Doge transparency committee, and Doge has not showed up once for that. But what's interesting is they're talking about that he's going to have to be out pretty soon because he has only 130 days. And they also talk about the fact that while they do have special access, there are certain ethics rules that they have to follow, which, by the way, he is not following. Supposedly he's not getting paid to ruin our government. I guess that's good. But they have talked about the fact that they are supposed to hold on.
To emphasize that.
Okay, so sorry for the brief blip, you guys. So I was double checking something. So basically, he only has 130 days, so he has to be out. So that's why he's probably talking about retiring. But also, there's something to be said for because Congress is supposed to control our money. That's one of their jobs. And Elon has basically taken this over. And so it has been noted by a lot of Democrats, by a lot of people outside of the government who are political people, who have talked about the fact, people who have expertise in all their fields, who have talked about the fact that he does not have the expertise to be doing a lot of the stuff, especially the access to the money. That's supposed to be handled by Congress. And this man was never cleared by Congress. He was just put in there by Trump. And the thing is, like, if you are doing certain things, you have to be cleared by. He has not been cleared by Congress. He's doing all this shit without the support of Congress. So in theory, you would think that the Republicans would be mad. Everybody's mad. No, they don't just seem to give. Oh, well, he's a billionaire, so he must know what he's doing.
Just because someone has money does not mean that they know what they're doing, people.
Yeah. And I mean, you brought up also a good point before about the head of the Doge. So why don't you talk about that for a minute?
Well, people, if you probably remember all this Doge stuff is basically illegal because we can say Department of Efficiency, everything. This Congress controls the purse. When we come up with these new departments and all this stuff, it has to be approved by Congress. Something like what Trump claims Doge is would have to be approved by Congress because Congress controls the power of the purse and all this other stuff. The idea behind it was to leave the power more in the hands of the people and to prevent a king. So as you know, this is basically illegal. So this stuff did go to court. I don't know how fully the court case is going so far.
Yeah.
But it went to court and a judge asked who was the head of Doge. And they claimed it was not Elon Musk. And you know, when you're in court on the stand, you're under oath. You can't just tell a judge things like that. They told the judge it's not Elon Musk. And then a few days later, Trump praised Elon Musk as the head of Department of Efficiency at that State of the Union thing he was doing.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, if Elon isn't the head of Doge, who is? We need to think about stuff like that because they'll try to bring up this back and forth again the second it gets really hot again.
Well, it's funny because they tried to hide who was working for them because it's well known now, and we still don't have all the names, but it's well known that he basically brought in a bunch of 19 and 20-year-olds who I guess had worked at some of his companies, supposedly.
Yeah, well, you know, one of them, a 19-year-old guy, like I mentioned earlier, one of them, he likes to call himself Big Balls, so, you know, real mature staff.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And these were the people brought in to oversee. I don't even know. Because it's funny because there's also a whole thing where they're like, oh, we're being transparent. We're putting all the money. By the way, there is actually a committee that's supposed to be overseeing them. They have not appeared once. But also there's a website where they've been posting their facts. And I swear every time I've heard about it from the media, they've had to fact check it like a million times because there's been
to the point where it's exhausting to even hear about it.
Yeah, because they had a thing where they were like, oh, this was $8 billion. And then it turned out to be where we saved money. And then it turned out to be $8 million. And it was like they literally had changed million to billion. And it's things like that were done on the website, which of course they hurriedly try to like delete stuff and then correct it. And if you Google just a little bit, you will find out this crap. So it's like you have this man running around pretending to be president, putting all his fingers in all the money pies when really it's supposed to be Congress. But where the fuck is Congress? I think that's the question. Where's Congress?
Like to be honest, the most movement we've gotten with Congress doing anything about this is when the Democrats went down to, I forget which office it was, and tried to get inside when the Department of Efficiency was there to say what the hell was going on.
Yeah. I mean, and you have people like AOC and Jasmine Crockett and there's so many progressives who are trying so hard. And I do see some of the Democrats like John Ossoff, like there are some of them who are trying to, but it just
trying,
like why do we not have the whole fucking Democratic Party just fucking bullshit, like boycotting fucking everything? Like why are you not? Especially when he's literally messing with the money. Like, why have you not fucking just said, why is this man in charge? Like, okay, they made a committee to oversee, but he hasn't showed up once. Why don't you send, because they have guards, they have National Guard, fucking send the guards to drag his ass in. Y'all want to do that to everybody else who fucking, you know, you want to pull in, when you pull in Facebook and everybody else, y'all get really heavy-handed there, but suddenly Republicans, right, they love to pull in tech people. They used to, you know, until all of them donated. They used to pull in tech people 24/7 to be like, explain this, explain what Google is, explain this. But then you can't drag fucking Elon Musk in there to answer for what the fuck he's doing with our money. What are you talking about? This is checks and balances. The money is literally your fucking job. And this man has become a one-man Congress, basically.
Yeah, well, we know the Republicans are basically geared to let him do whatever he wants, which is a problem. And
because they're afraid of Trump.
Democrats who are not in power, some of them, you know, well, it's more than some. Several of them are trying to do something about it, but you know, they don't have the majority, so their hands are tied. But at the same time, there is, you know, certain splits within the party. I
think we'll have a conversation about this later too, because there's, and this is why I say, a long time ago, I used to be a Democrat, and I'm not anymore. I'm very much a progressive, but it's like the thing is that the Democratic Party has let me, like, obviously the Republican Party has let everybody down. The Democratic Party has also let us down, and it's like we have a two-party system. Like, this is why we need a third party. This is why we need a
Well,
fourth
yeah,
party.
maybe
This
two,
is why we
maybe
need
3 or 4 more
somebody
parties,
else.
because I'm still a Democrat, but I am also a progressive. I'm somewhere in between because I don't
Yeah.
blindly vote Democrat. I vote for
Yeah.
who's actually going to do something. Obviously, never the
Yeah.
Republicans, but still.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, but I think there's things that the Democrats could have done before this, where we could have had
Well, they
Bernie
could have
Sanders
not
in office.
sabotaged their own election, but that's a whole
Yeah,
different argument.
there's a lot of, yeah, we'll have that conversation later about responsibilities and how both parties, I believe, have, like, I believe they failed. We can
Well,
definitely
yeah.
have a discussion about this. Like, they have failed, and the thing is, like, this is a basic checks and balances. Like, the first thing you learn is that the executive branch has to check the legislative branch, which has to check the judicial branch, and they all check each other, right? They're all supposed to check each other because we didn't want a King George situation happening. And what the
And
fuck
we
do we
still
have? We have
don't.
King Trump. We have King Trump. And if I thought this man would just take the title of king and not do anything else, I'd fucking say give it to him. What the fuck? I don't care. But it's like he doesn't. He wants to. They want to set everything on fire because here's the thing. This is his second term. He's pretty sure. I mean, he's trying to look for a loophole so he can be in a third term,
Yeah,
which is
he's already
illegal as
made
fuck.
Trump 2028 hats.
Right.
They're already in
But
circulation.
I know, it's just all of this happening, whether it's the immigration, whether it's Elon Musk and Doge, like a lot of this shit is just illegal. There is no
Yep.
ifs, ands, or buts about it. It
It
is
is
illegal for a
100%
reason.
illegal.
And where's these checks and balances? Where are the people who are not just AOC and Jasmine Crockett? Where are the people who are supposed to be checking these people and make sure they are doing a fucking job that is correct and not just ruining our financial system? And let's not even mention the tariffs. I could go all day. I could go
We'll
all day
talk
about the
about
tariffs.
tariffs another episode because that is a serious, serious conversation
Oh,
because of
I
all
know.
the dumbassery that he didn't even have to, he didn't even have to do anything. He could have just coasted on what Biden did.
I know.
And we would
I
be
know.
fine, but no, he has crashed the economy in records.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
This is
he
like
wants to be
a
racist.
record destruction.
Racism it's very important. You must be racist.
Well, yeah.
That's the important part.
Daddy's still mad those people who forced him to rent his apartments to people who weren't white. He'll never let that go.
Right. Okay, Crystal. So we need a happy thought because
The happy thing is, Mia, you might be getting some chocolate.
Yay! Chocolate for me. Chocolate for me.
Now, for all of you who are wondering, I told Mia about chocolate that grows in Ghana and how good it is. How, Ghana, one of their top exports is chocolate, and how good Ghanaian chocolate is. So Mia's been wanting some Ghanaian chocolate for a hot minute now. She found a Ghana chocolate company, and I was asking my relatives about it because I had never, bought from this company before because I'm not in Ghana frequently. It's very expensive to go. So even though I like to go, every now and then, again, it's something I can rarely do. So I can't go and get her chocolate. But my cousin is coming to visit me. So he said, when I asked about the chocolate company, he's like, well, do you want some chocolate? I'm like, yeah, bring me some chocolate. He's like, okay. So when he brings me some chocolate, I'm going to send Mia a bar.
Yay! Chocolate. Okay, that is good. That is wonderful. That is excellent. I mean, honestly, chocolate, I feel like could solve all the woes of the world.
That's fine, Mia, but don't tell the other authors I'm sending you a chocolate bar.
Well, this is a public podcast, so
I think don't tell them so they won't know unless they watch the episode.
I mean, okay, we should quiz them. We should be like, so what did Crystal do last week in this episode? And if you can answer right, you might get a prize.
They will not be getting a prize. My cousin's only bringing over so many bars.
Okay. But so anyways, you guys, I think we're at the end of part 2. Thank all the gods.
We are. I think we've raved about Elon enough. The thing is, we need to get rid of that man and send him somewhere. Let's
we
send
need
him
to get
the
rid of him.
middle of the ocean. He got money
Antarctica.
to survive.
I hear Antarctica. I mean, I love the penguins, though. I don't want to inflict them on them. But
don't hurt those poor penguins.
Look, there's polar bears. They might eat him.
Oh, let the polar bears have them because
but then they get an indigestion.
To remember about bears. If it's a brown bear, You might escape. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Black bear, okay, you're in a little bit more hot soup, but you might have a chance of getting away.
Yeah.
White polar bear, just kiss your butt goodbye. Those things do not
Right.
play. They are
They don't
very
play.
hungry. Food is scarce for them. If they see it, they will eat it.
Right.
No ands, ifs, or buts.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys. Well, we are going to be in the next few weeks. We are going to try to have some episodes. Because we are going to try to get a week off, maybe kind of sort of. So we are going to try to do a few episodes, I think next week or the week after, to try to like give ourselves a week off. But we are going to have some authors on. We're going to talk about some books. We're going to recommend some books. We're going to brag about our books, maybe kind of sort of.
Well, we'll also be bragging about, well, we're not bragging about, but we're talking about some book bans, talking about how being a librarian is about to be an illegal occupation.
There's a lot of things. We have book bans, librarians. I mean, J.K. Rowling alone is a whole book.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling's going to be a 3-part episode. How she went from somebody we had a semblance of respect for to somebody who we have
I said I want to sue her for the rights of her characters. If I could get away with that, I want to sue her for the rights of her characters, because I don't think you've written it, but she doesn't deserve those characters. Not at all.
There are so many things we'll have to say about her, and we're probably going to have individual discussions about her characters. We're going to have when that Harry Potter show comes out, we're going to have some serious Harry Potter discussion, because there's just like so much stuff with her.
You're not going to make me watch that show, are you?
No, I'm not.
Are you going to make me watch that show? I'm not
going to make you watch it. I'm not watching it. So why should I make you watch it?
Thank goodness.
Okay, I liked the books when I was a kid, but there's a reason I won't read them as an adult.
Oh man, well, we'll get into that later. But anyways, you guys, we love you. Thank you for tuning in. Please feel free to leave comments, keep following us. We are gonna keep trying to do episodes, and hopefully, because half the reason we do these politics episodes is to keep you guys informed, and hopefully you feel a little bit more informed about this stuff, and hopefully you are just as mad as we are, because
and we're going to be leaving the links to our sources down below. People, we encourage you.
Yeah.
Do research.
If YouTube will let us.
It will. Don't worry. I'm gonna put the links in the caption. I know how to get them to let us do that.
I was trying to let me do a few here, though. Anyways, you guys, we love and appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in as the pages turn for our lovely episode. This is part 2, and we will see you in a few days.
Okay, bye-bye. Have a nice week, people.
Have a wonderful week. Drink your water, eat your food, get some sleep, and have a wonderful time.
And remember, Ghanaian chocolate is the best chocolate. So when you want
some cocoa, and I
go
still want it. And I'm just saying, I still want it. Anyways, bye, everybody.
I know you still want it.